Hi there. I'd like to tell you the story of Lila and her clone, the prequel, today. There lived a king named Padma who had a very beautiful wife named Lila. One of the thoughts that began to prey on Lila's mind as she got older was that she loved her husband dearly, but she started to think about what would happen if one of them died. She said, well, it's okay if I die first, but I would really be lonely if my husband died before I did. So she asked the ministers if she could do a sadhana to live forever. They said no, that was not possible. So then she thought about it. She says, well then, if the king dies before I do, I would like him to stay in the palace with me forever. Wherever I am, he is. So she began to pray and do a penance, an austerity. She would eat one day in 3. That was her penance, until she had the blessings of Saraswati, who was the goddess of knowledge. After 100 days, Saraswati appeared before her. And Lila said, oh, I'd like 2 boons. And Saraswati says, what are they? And she said, oh, I want to have if the king dies, to live forever in this palace. Saraswati nodded her head and said, yes, that was fine. And the second thing she said, whenever I pray to you, I would like to see you and talk to you. And Saraswati again agreed to that. After this happened, the king went out and fought a battle and was mortally wounded. He was brought back into the palace where he died. And then Lila heard a voice of Saraswati saying, cover him with flowers so he will not decay. She did that. But then she prayed to Saraswati because she'd asked for a boon that he lived forever in the palace. Well, he was in the palace, but he was dead. So that didn't quite work out. So she prayed to Saraswati, who appeared. And she said, well, where is the king, my husband? And Saraswati said, in order to answer that, you'll have to have a meditation technique to differentiate between the 3 types of spaces. One is a psychological space, and you may know what that is because you live in your thoughts a lot, and you think different things, and you perceive things based on what you think. And that is different from your physical space. Sometimes you think somebody's an enemy. It turns out it was just somebody who you had never met, and they became your friend as soon as you got to know them. So the psychological space was imposed upon the physical space, like that. And the third type of space is the infinite space of consciousness. And Saraswati said to Lila, if you concentrate on the infinite space of consciousness, you can see where everybody is. So Lila, because she was distraught, decided to go into the intense meditation, and she saw another kingdom exactly like the one she had, but in this one her husband the king was alive. and he was much younger than the king that died. And there she saw all the ministers and the serving people that lived in the palace where she was. This startled her so much it came out of the meditation. And as it was night, she went and woke up her maidservants and said, "Please assemble all the people." And she named them all, and they came. And there was Lila looking at all these people, and a whole slew of thoughts went through her mind. Well, is that kingdom here, or where is it? And here are the same people that were existing all these others. So this is really beginning to bother her, so she prayed to Saraswati again. And Saraswati came forward again and said, "This is the infinite space of consciousness, has another entire world there." So this was the start of the duplication. And Saraswati and Lila went back to that kingdom, and there was another Lila, a much younger clone of the Lila there. So now you have to go back to the other story to see how this all ties in.